It's a beautiful Monday morning. Hello and welcome to Today in the News and Vanguard Live. I am Precious Chukudi. We begin with the front pages of the papers this morning, starting off with Vanguard. Vanguard is leading with the Delta killings. Troops lay siege to Okuama, raise more houses. The writer says outrage trails murder of soldiers. Military deploys armored vehicles to Ramadi creeks. I've authorized military to fish out perpetrators, and that's come from Tinubu. It's barbaric, unacceptable, and that's come from Peter Obi. It's despicable, Governor Oborivori. Act totally unacceptable, and that's come from Pandev. Officer sacrifices shall not be in vain. Northern Senators tell CDS. Robo Group urges probe. Ijo youth condemn killings. You can read more on page 5. And of course, we can see page 19 how federal government funds a petrol subsidy through crude sales proceeds. Page 10, April 2024, APC leaders kick against the commercialization of global primaries. Nigeria tightens the group on second spot in medal table, and you can see that on spot page 39. Stories above. Insecurity hampering food security. Catholic bishops, farmers raise alarm. Edo Guba, APC to unveil deputy governorship candidate today. Why it's difficult to market Nigeria globally, and that's coming from Obongata. On page 28, Lagos residents storm food mart amidst complaints. Devolving more powers to states will bring socio-economic development, and that's coming from Governor Mba. We take a look at the Guardian newspaper. The Guardian is leading with internet outage. Trade payments suffer as service disruption may linger till April. And we can see an infographic showing more on Africa undersea cables. On page 6, slain soldiers, Tinubu grants military full authority to pursue justice, silence on reprisals. Osano Nasu begins nationwide strike today. Northern leaders set up sick probe of 3.7 trillion naira budget pardon allegation. Senate reps hold secret hearing on new student loan bill. On page 9, casinos and bar governors locked for boycotting security meeting. Cutting governors cost beyond the Wonosai's report. And that's all we can take. We take a look at the Punch newspaper. The Punch is leading with soldiers killing. Tinubu Senate order man for killers. Troops comb warring communities. Rider says the president condemns attacks, says GHQ has full authority to bring anybody responsible to justice. Senate retired generals orders fuel demand tough action against killers, condones with military. We can see a photo story showing consumers lament POS machine shortage at Lagos discounted food markets. On page 8, abducted editor's wife cries for help, says husband easygoing. Textile imports 7 orders cop 1.4 trillion after CBN ban lift. Senate warns against a supplementary budget, excess loan. Stories above. Federal government eyes $1 billion World Bank loans for IDPs. Agreed. Strike. Sam Nasu vow to ground varsities. Government feigning ignorance. Last year on the front page of the Punch newspaper. Federal government plans talks with Ghana. Orders to protect undersea cables, and that's all we can take on the front pages of all the papers this morning. Join us after the break. We'll be right back. Alright, welcome back. If you're just joining me still today in the news on Vanguard Live, I am Precious Chukudi. Joining me to talk about some of the stories on the front pages of the papers this morning is Mr. Aliyu Mohammed, CEO of Magnet Communications, also former editor of Daily Times and Concord Newspapers. Good to have you join me this morning, sir.
Good morning, Precious. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Let's delve in. And of course, the main big story this morning is obviously what happened in Delta State. Soldiers deployed to Okuama community. They continue to raise more houses in the community following the last weekend killing of several military men on rescue mission to the riverine communities. What are your thoughts on the incident?
Well, I want to condemn in serious terms what happened in that community last week. You don't just kill soldiers just like that, not junior officers, but very senior officers, commander, lieutenants, and so many other officers were killed. It is sad. I feel bad. Apart from being soldiers, nobody have the right to take human lives. So the reprisal attack on the community by the soldiers should be expected. You know what happened in Odi when President Obasanjo was the president of Nigeria? The entire Odi community was leveled to zero within 48 hours. You know what happened in Zakibiam in Benue State when some people, residents in Zakibiam, killed soldiers? Within 48 hours, there was no house standing in Zakibiam. And so that alone should teach the people a lesson that you don't kill soldiers in any part of the world. Americans can finish a whole city if they lose one soldier in that city. So people should indeed be very careful when you see soldiers in the area where you live and people start fomenting trouble that could take the lives of soldiers. We have to be very, very careful. These people are meant to protect us. Excuse me. They are meant to rescue us from serious danger that the police cannot combat. So when you see soldiers intervening in any situation, people must exercise restraint in going very violent with soldiers. You can't stand with soldiers in terms of violence. They are the masters of violence. So I want to advise Nigerians to refrain from confronting soldiers. As much as possible, they must refrain from confronting soldiers who are especially on peace mission in their areas. It is sad that this is happening. I'm not happy about the killing of the soldiers. I'm not happy about the raising of the entire community where these soldiers were killed. It is unfortunate.
All right, we obviously heard that it was as a result of trying to settle like land disputes in the community. But then again, the question is, should that be the responsibility of the soldiers? What is the policemen? Isn't that the responsibility of the police to go and actually settle land disputes instead of the soldiers?
From the little that I have read about it, the situation in that community was going to degenerate into violence. And that's why, you know, the situation of things in the Niger Delta, the police may be incapable to stem any confrontation, especially when it has to do with the violent one. So probably that's why soldiers were deployed immediately to ensure that there is peace in that place. But unfortunately, the soldiers got killed. The very day that I had, the very minute that I heard of that killing, I imagined what would follow. And my imagination did not fail me. I knew that. Did you read the speech of the president? It's like giving a tacit go ahead for the soldiers to storm the place and do the needful. And they have started that. I can imagine the number of innocent souls that will go with those soldiers. I feel bad about this. The life of every Nigerian, either a soldier or a civilian, is important. We should be careful in the way we manage crisis in this country. People seem to have embraced violence more at this time because of the situation of things in the country. on the road, you see a lot of violent attitude. In Aja area, there was an accident. The man that hit the lady, one of them was killed in the process. The man that held the car of the man that was killed was being pressured by the man whose car was hit to come down and look at it. I think the man got angry and maneuvered his way out. In the process, he knocked down the man whose car was hit and took off. People pursued him. He himself had an accident. He abandoned his car and bolted away. Nobody has caught him till today. But the man whose car was hit has died. So you can see the danger of anger and violence in resolving issues. So people should realize that when you go to the extreme in any situation, anything could happen. The people of that community went to the extreme and you can see the results. We have to exercise. Yeah, yes, things are tough in the country. It's not only in Nigeria. Go to London, go to the US. Prices of things have gone up. Accommodation, food, petrol, everything, the prices have gone up. It's not happening only in Nigeria, it is happening all over the world. So we have to ensure that there is sanity in everything we do at this critical time. You don't just explode because you are faced with a situation and resort to violence.
All right, moving on, let's touch on this one. And now there are indications that the federal government through NNPC Limited is now spending 17.72 billion daily naira to fund petrol subsidy. What's your take on that?
You see, there is no how we can not subsidize petrol. If you look at the landing costs, we are importing. As of today, we are importing. We have Dangote refinery coming on stream. We have not seen a pint of petrol. I have not seen a pint of diesel produced by Dangote refinery, despite the fact that huge government funds have been sunk into the construction of that refinery. We've been told that Warri refinery will start production. We've been told that some modular refineries have started operation. Up till now, we are yet to see a drop of refined petroleum products in Nigeria. We are still importing. If you look at the rate of exchange of naira to dollar, there is no way you can sell a liter of petroleum products, be it diesel, be it petrol, be it aviation fuel, at the rate that is affordable and at the rate that it is landing in Nigeria. There is no way. So subsidy have to come in a way. There is no country where products, some important products, critical products are not subsidized. You cannot completely eradicate subsidy. Though if you have traveled far and wide, you know that in the US, drugs are subsidized to ensure that people get those. Some drugs are subsidized to ensure that people get those drugs at an affordable rate. It's not only petroleum products. Some important things are subsidized. It's only in Nigeria that I keep hearing that subsidy is a crime. So yes, a crime. It can be a crime when people fake their landing costs, when people increase where they ought not to increase, and they make millions and trillions from that. But if there is sanity in the process of subsidizing petroleum products, we won't be spending as much as we did before the Tinubu administration. But what we had was a cartel of people that will import 1 million cubic liters of petrol and say it is 10 million because they must get subsidy from it. And trillions of naira you spend more than what you made from the sale of crude to import refined products. You are not doing the new business. You are not doing that business because in any business there must be profit. You are not doing that business well if there is no profit. What was happening before Tinubu came was a situation where you export crude and make 5 trillion and you spend 7 trillion on importation of refined products. There is no business sense in that at all. So in a way, I support the removal of subsidy, and maybe now that it has become obvious that Nigeria cannot survive without the availability of subsidy, it can be done in a similar manner where subsidy will be paid to those who have come with genuine receipts of importation of petroleum products, not those who didn't lift a finger but who are taking trillions from the subsidy regime. That should be a thing of the past. But subsidy, you cannot totally eradicate it. It's not possible.
All right, moving on. The Catholic bishops have also raised an alarm that the nation's quest for food security might remain a mirage if the current level of insecurity in the land is not checked. And I mean, we've been talking about insecurity for the longest. What's your thought on what the Catholic bishop is saying?
We talked about it when I came in. People are afraid to travel out of wherever they live now because everybody is afraid of being kidnapped. It's not about being kidnapped, but the horror, the psychological effect of being kidnapped and what you go through in the den of kidnappers. You could live with it for the rest of your life. It is unfortunate that we are yet to find a solution to kidnapping because some people are making money from it. Last week, Sheikh Gumi said kidnapping will not stop for as long as government refuses to negotiate with kidnappers. And I'm surprised that that man is still walking around the country a free man. The SSS has not invited him to come and explain what he meant by that statement that there is no way kidnapping will end in Nigeria without government negotiating with kidnappers. I do not support any negotiation with kidnappers. Kidnappers, terrorists are taken off. They are killed immediately they are identified in any part of the civilized world. We know what happened to Osama bin Laden. He was killed. Nobody negotiated with him. So all the kidnappers, the terrorists in Nigeria should be taken off, and we have the capacity to do it, but we do not have the way to do it. We have 12 attack helicopters specifically bought by the Buhari regime to fight bandits, to fight terrorists. Are we putting those attack helicopters to use? No. Why did we buy them with trillions of dollars if we were not ready to use those helicopters? They are there lying fallow. We have the will, we have the might to fight terrorism, but unfortunately we are not using all the might that we have to eradicate terrorism in Nigeria. Super Tucano all over the world, if introduced into any war situation, the country that owns those helicopters will certainly come out victorious from that war. We have 12 Super Tucanos imported by the Buhari regime. How well are those Super Tucanos being put to use? You're not using them. They're just there, lying fallow. if you want to bail those jets out to fight terrorism, within 6 months we will come on top of it, because those jets are specially built to locate their targets and destroy that place. But we are not putting those jets to use. Why did we purchase those Super Tucanos? It is left for the government to explain. We have all the might to conquer kidnapping. Then secondly, we have had about helicopters dropping food, dropping medicals, dropping money for these people fighting Nigeria. We have the capacity to trace those helicopters. We have the NCA, we have NAMA, we have FAN, we have the Office of the National Security Advisor, we have the DSS. Nobody has come up with the identification of the helicopters that are dropping food, dropping money, dropping arms for these bandits. Until we get to that level, we continue to face what we are going through today, kidnapping and banditry. We have the way, we have the might to eradicate it. Some foreign countries have volunteered to help Nigeria. What are we saying to those countries? Are we rejecting their offer? The government should let us know.
All right, we're currently looking at a food shortage in the country.
Yes.
And what intervention plans do you think the government should actually be looking at?
It has started all over the country. The United States government started it by ensuring that important food stuff are made available to the people at cheap rates. Lagos State government has started its own. But the problem with the Lagos State government's good project is that it is not well organized. I was personally at the one that took place off Allen yesterday. I got there early and we were able to buy things. They insisted that you must not pay cash, but you must pay through POS. But you have two sets of POS for a crowd of more than 150. It slows down the entire process. When the crowd that it was not envisaged stormed that place, and they were saying the maximum cost that you can expend there is 10,000 naira. We are ready to pay, but the POS were malfunctioning. You cannot pay cash, and it's wasted the 9 hours that people are supposed to have spent purchasing those cheap foods called Insecurity. It's a good development in Lagos that the state government has taken the lead again by providing cheap food. I commend the state governor for the project which they started in Mushin, where you can go and buy directly from the producers of food, farmers. The place is well organized. I've also been there. Big parking space. You have watermelon for 1,000. Plantain.
Yeah, you did too.
Plantain. You know how much they sold it to you. So that alone is heartwarming that practical steps have been taken to ensure that food is available for Lagosians. I want to urge all other state governors to emulate what is going on in Niger State and Lagos State and ensure that people have access to food. If you are hungry, you are an angry man or an angry woman. So food is important. An hungry man is an angry man. There is nothing you will say to an hungry man that will go into his head. So we should make sure that food is available at reasonable prices, not at a price where people cannot even afford. I commend the state government, like I said. I think all other state governments should take a cue from what is happening in Lagos State and in Niger State to solve the problem of food shortage in the country.
All right, let's touch on Mr. and Mrs. before we go. And Mr. is speaking this morning, says, what do you mean that's enough? Can't I eat in my house again? Come on, give me another plate of jollof rice. Food is like a drug when the body is weak.
You see what I just said?
And then Mrs. replied and said, another plate will make it the 6. That's drug abuse.
No, it's not drug abuse. The man need that energy at night. I won't say more than that.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Ali Mohammed, CEO of Mali Communications. Thank you for sharing your talk with us this morning. Also, remember that you can equally like, share, and subscribe. We're on our social media platform showing on your screen. To find out today's stories, go to our website www.vanguardindia.com to find out more. I am Precious Chukudi, and thank you for watching.